Hi guys, this is Ben from Project Spartan. Now I'm making a video today on nutrition and our nutritional approach. Now nutrition a lot of the time is quite a complex subject, and obviously from a scientific point of view there are lots of things to consider, but really I want to keep this as simple as possible and not try to confuse you at all. Now the Project Spartan nutritional approach, there's two stages really. One is thinking about a liver detox. So starting off with the liver detox. The liver is like the filter for your body. So cutting out foods which your liver may struggle to process is a good starting point. You know, such as the caffeine, the sugars, the dairy, the processed foods, and then the heavily processed grain. Now that is a good starting point for a lot of people, and there are three different stages with nutrition. From one where you're just cutting back on the processed food which your body, your liver is struggling to process. That would always be stage one. You will get a certain amount of results just from there. Then the second is kind of looking at, and you start to lose some weight from that point. Then to really get that little bit leaner, and then you start to be specific with your 3 meals and then the macros that you're having. The macronutrients are basically your protein, your fats and your carbohydrates, which make up your 3 different food groups, food types. So and then after that you're looking at getting super lean. We're looking at like 10% body fat, and then again we need to be very specific with the macros or timings, and you're looking at more of an athlete or athletic level of conditioning and changing your body composition, your body shape. So there's different levels of nutrition as well. Now the other thing I want you to consider today is somatotypes. So looking at somatotypes, which are your ectomorph, endomorph and mesomorph. You're going to get guys that are tall and lean but still have a bit of body fat. You'll get other guys that are naturally muscular that have some body fat, and then your guys that are carrying quite a lot of body fat. And those 3 different genetic structures will require 3 slightly different tailored nutrition approaches based on those somatotypes. And that's part of this, the reason for this video is to explain that side of things and how you can tailor that. So there's 10 nutrition habits. I messed up slightly here because I put 1 to 2. I meant to put 1 to 10. I'm slightly dyslexic, so I apologise for that. So nutrition habits that I would always use as a starting point are, first off, prioritise nutrition within your lifestyle. I know you're busy, I know you're hectic, you're running around, you've got lots of things going on, but if you can spend like 30 minutes on a Sunday to think, what am I going to shop for, what am I going to eat, plan 3 meals a day as a minimum. We can go through, you know, supplementation as well, but let's just start very simple with those 3 meals, and make sure they're fairly convenient and they're going to fit in. If you're going to eat out, where are you going to eat, what are you going to eat, just prioritise it. So otherwise it ends up at the bottom of the pile and you never really give it the value that it needs to actually change your body, because the nutrition is massive. You know, it is 70% of results at least. And it will just make you feel good. You know, nutrition in itself, yes, you're gonna lose body fat, but it's gonna affect your endocrine system, your hormonal system. You're gonna feel good in yourself. You have more energy. You feel happier. It's gonna release endorphins. You know, you're gonna feel good in yourself. So prioritize it. Again, structure nutrition based on somatotype, like I mentioned. Plan and prep your food. Put aside that 20-30 minutes on a Sunday. Think about what you're gonna eat. Have quick, convenient go-to options. So convenient superfood shakes that you could use as well, protein bars, and quick foods. I like a banana and egg pancake, which I do with coconut oil, which again is very quick and easy. So that might be an option as well. Eat slowly and stop around about 80% full. So a lot of the time people eat food far too fast, and it doesn't really, from a neurological point of view, they haven't realised that how much they're eating, because they're eating it so fast. It hasn't got a digestive system yet. So slow down what you're eating. Eat protein dense food with every meal. We need protein to build lean muscle, to lose body fat, and to change body composition. So eat protein with dense food with every meal. Eat vegetables with every meal. That sometimes doesn't happen, especially for breakfast. Eat fats with every meal. Fats are, we're talking good healthy fats here, so your nuts, your nut butters, your avocados, your coconut oil. Now cycle your starchy carbs depending on your body fat, and again basing it on somatotype as well. Some people can tolerate those carbs better, but have a look at what your body fat is. A higher body fat, I'd have less starchy carbs to start you off, and then earn your free day if you like. So the leaner you get, the lower your body fat gets. Record your body fat, then the more you can cycle in those days when you're having your starchy carbs, your processed carbs. Okay, so that's like your 10 Project Spartan nutritional habits to get you started. Next thing I want you to do is think about your different food groups, and think about food as fuel for your body. So you've got your fats, your proteins, your carbohydrates. Now I haven't gone through the carbohydrates. You're going to get like a mix with your carbs. You know, you've got one end of the scale, your heavily processed carbs, which most people, you know, eat day to day. Let's say like a cereal or toast, and your body is having to release insulin and carry the glucose around the body, and you're going to be spiking your insulin, your glucose, and it's going to create these irregular shifts of blood sugar levels. So we want to really focus on the fibrous carbs like your vegetables, your fruits, beans, sweet potatoes, quinoa, and then as you get leaner, or if you are that somatotype that fits, then have your starchier carbs. So with the proteins, again, your protein source is really important. So lean red meats, grass-fed, lean white meats, wild-caught fish like salmon. Try not to get the farm-caught salmon because it's fed with pellets and it's not living in its natural environment. Eggs, ideally organic or duck eggs, not factory farmed. Protein supplements like Sunwara is a really good option. I'm personally not massively into whey protein, so I recommend Sunwara, which is a rice and pea protein. Very good quality. It's like a plant-based protein as well, because you got to remember you do get protein from plants as well. So you've got like hemp, you've got rice, you've got pea protein. Now onto your fats as well. Your good fats are like lots of different nuts, avocado, coconut oil is great because it's got MCT oil, which is medium chain triglycerides, which help you with fat loss. So again, I haven't gone through all the macros because it'll take, all the different types of macros for each category. Obviously got loads of different vegetables that you could have. I've used broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. Mixed berries is great because it's a lower GI, so it's good to have berries in there as well. Spinach is an awesome superfood that you can use in your superfood shakes. But that just gives you a breakdown of some of the proteins, carbs and fats and the macronutrients on the Spartan program, just so you understand about those different food types, and then how we structure our meals based on those macronutrients and how much we have of each. Okay, so this is just a little bit about, very briefly, about convenience. So for instance, if you're eating out, like omelets, soups, salads, meat and veg, fish and veg is great. Ask for what you want when you're out. You know, if you don't want the heavy starchy carbs with it and just want some vegetables, then, you know, ask for that. Or you don't want the pasta, you want some rice, then again, just ask it. Drinks, water, herbal teas, smoothies, green teas, again, protein shakes will all be good options. Plan ahead, prepare, think about that Sunday, you know, use Tupperware if you need to, if you're going to take your food away. There's always a way, guys, there's always a way to do this. Raw food, so carrot and cucumber with dips, nuts and seed, naked bars, dark chocolate. Graze boxes is another thing you can use online. I know they do a lot of free boxes to begin with. Organic raw food bars like Beyond Bar is a really good one that you can use, that you can get from Infinity Foods. And then convenient food, so mixed nuts, cereals, you'd have to make them yourself and grind them up. Almond bread, banana bread, coconut bread. any of those fat-based breads. There is Ezekiel bread, which is a sprouted bread, which is awesome as a different option as well. Yeah, and this is just basically going to sort of shopping essentials. So coconut milk, almond flour you can use in those breads, duck eggs, coconut oil, naked bars or 9 bars. Again, going to have some sugar in them, but you know, depends on what you're doing. If you're training hard, you're getting your body fat down, no problem. Your nut butters on the left, like Meridian, are great for shakes. And then again, hemp milk and green tea is awesome for fat loss, speed up your metabolism. So let's go into the different body types. You've got your ectomorph, mesomorph and endomorph. So those are the 3 body types there. Now again, you have to remember that there's a lot of variables on the way you train, how much you eat, how well you're sleeping, what your goals are. But generally, if your goal is to get lean and to put on some muscle, then you have to adjust elements to your nutritional approach based on your somatotype. Now, one of the areas which is really hard for people to gain an idea on is like portion sizes and calories. Now, one area I found which is an easy way to do this, or one protocol to use, is you've got your lean meats top left. Now, as a portion size, I would use 1 fist of protein. Okay, sorry, 1 palm of protein. So, yeah, 1 palm of protein. So think about palm size, and that's how big you would have your protein source. So 1 palm of protein. On the right hand side, 1 fist. Sorry, put my teeth back in. 1 fist of vegetables. Okay. And then obviously there you've got 2 fists. We'll go through the portion sizes for each somatotype in a second. But all I'm trying to do now is explain through the different 4 areas, your proteins, your vegetables, your carbs and your fats, the portion sizes. So you've got palm, we're using a palm size to calculate our meat or protein intake, then a fist to calculate our vegetable intake, again 1 fist, so 1 palm, 1 fist, 1 cupped handful for bottom left, which is our carb source, and then 1 full thumb for our fat source. In this case, it's almonds. Okay, so our different macronutrients, yeah, our proteins, our fibrous carbs, which are our vegetables, our more starchy carbs, and then our fats. So if you're each of those, so ectomorph, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So ectomorph, so tall and lean, you might carry some body fat. And again, it's important to point out that you can be slightly in the middle of each of these. So don't get too caught up on that, but it's good to think and have an idea of each, you know, looking at the way that you're built genetically, okay, because it will make a difference in nutrition. And a Paleolithic elimination style approach is a fairly good approach for mesomorph, endomorph, depending on intolerances and depending on the individual. Ectomorph, not generally so much. It's going to be a slightly higher carb intake. Or if you are an ectomorph whose body fat is getting lower, then I'll definitely start to cycle those carbs in, those starchy carbs. Okay, so ectomorph, naturally thin, thyroid dominant, fast metabolic rate, high sympathetic nervous system activity, higher carbohydrate tolerance. So the protein, carbs and fats, your macronutrients, are going to change for each. So protein's 25%, carbs about 55%, then fats 20%. 2 palms of protein, 2 fists of vegetables, 3 cupped handfuls of carb-dense food, 1 thumb of fat. So that would be your nutritional approach to begin with. Okay. So again, a lot of the time it's just understanding the carbs, your proteins and your fats. Again, a lot of people don't consume enough fats. So your carbs, I would get them from a lot of, you could get them from your fruit, obviously your vegetables, and then start to have those starchy carbs. As I said, basmati rice is a great option. You could have some potato in there, sweet potato, but you, again, ectomorph could go more for the starchier carb. Okay, so mesomorph is naturally muscular, testosterone and growth hormone dominant, high sympathetic nervous system activity, moderate carbohydrate intake. So going back to, let me go the wrong way. Okay, so mesomorph again is slightly more muscular, you can see from the picture there. So you want protein about 30%, carbs about 40%, and then fats about 30%. So 2 palms of protein, 2 fists of vegetables, 2 cupped handfuls of carb-dense food, and 2 thumbs of fats. So all I'm trying to do here, hopefully not confuse you, and keep it simple in terms of those somatotypes and structuring your nutrition based around there. Okay, endomorph, so naturally broad and thick, low sympathetic nervous system, low carbohydrate intake. So protein's around about 35%, carbs going to be a lot lower, so around about 25%, fats about 40%. 2 palms of protein, 2 fists of vegetables, 1 cup handful of carb-dense food, 3 thumbs of fat-dense food. Okay, so higher fat, a medium amount of protein, you can even go a little bit higher, and then 2 fists of vegetables. Okay, so make sure that you are giving that as a rough idea. So the most confusing area generally is around those starchy carbs. So if you think about it, that you're earning the right to eat them, the lower your body fat is getting. So even though you might be ectomorph, mesomorph and endomorph, still think about what your body fat percentage is, okay? So take your body fat, and the lower it gets, the more you're going to cycle those carbs in from a fat loss point of view. Now, example daily meal plans. I think I wanted to show you this as well, to show you how much protein you can consume with even like 3 meals a day with like a superfood shake. And you got to remember, in terms of like protein levels, I get asked a lot, how much protein do I need? The basic recommendation for protein intake is around about like 0.8 to a gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. So yeah, I've got a breakdown there. Okay, so this calculation here is just for maintenance purposes as well, and I'd probably say even with that it's quite low. You could even go up to like high intensity training, even 1.4 grams, around about that. So yeah, a lot of the time I think people under consume enough protein. They don't eat enough nutrient dense food, which is our objective here. Is to eat more nutrient dense food, not concentrate so much on the calorie counting, and cycle it around our somatotype and our body fat percentage. Oops, sorry, I've come out of there. Let's go back to where we were. Okay, so going back to the daily meal plan. For breakfast, going back to those portion sizes: 2 palm sized portions of duck eggs, 2 fist sized portions of broccoli, 2 cup handfuls of oats or banana. Again, I'll have this post workout. If you tolerate oats, okay. 2 entire thumbs of almonds, 2 palm sized portions of chicken for lunch, 2 fist sized portions of mixed peppers and onions, 2 cup handfuls of basmati rice, 2 entire thumbs of guacamole. This is a healthy version. This isn't guacamole. I tried to put the recipe up somewhere, which is it's made with lemon and herbs. This isn't your full fat version that you see around a lot, that you have with like crisps. Okay, so mid-afternoon snack, 2 palm sized portions of protein, so 2 scoops of like samoy that I mentioned before, which is the rice and pea protein, fist sized portion of spinach, so you can chuck some spinach in that shake, 2 cup handfuls of frozen berries, 2 entire thumbs of almonds, and 12 ounces of coconut, hemp or almond milk with some ice. Again, you've got a nice superfood shake there. And then your dinner: 2 palm sized portion of cod lion, 2 fist sized portions of asparagus, 1 handful of sweet potato, cooked thumb of coconut oil. Now remember as well, you're going to get some protein from your nuts, some protein from your carbohydrates, because they still have protein in them as well. You know, they cross over with the macros. But in a rough breakdown, you've got your protein. You've got 210 grams of protein, which again, a lot of people are going to think is pretty high. Your carbs are 165 grams, and your fats about 95 grams. So that's your macro breakdown. Calories about 2,775 grams. Calories. Again, not that we really focus on calories, but it just gives you a rough idea. So from a protein point of view, I think it can surprise a lot of people how high that is, especially when you're going for like lean body mass and you think of 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body weight. So for me, I'm looking at 157 grams. By looking at a daily intake, I would say that's still a little bit low. The type of training, like for instance, that I do, you know, if you're doing strength conditioning training and have got a low body fat, then that protein intake could be upped, I would say, to around about, you know, 1.4 grams, something like that. So that 210 grams that I showed you a minute ago, it's probably around about the right amount. But again, you know, trial it, see how you get on, and use different protein sources as well. You know, don't stick to one. I think it's easy. I've done many times before. Stick to the same protein intake a lot, just out of habit. So try to vary your protein intake. And I think that just about wraps it up, guys. So yeah, hopefully that has helped you break everything down. So just to recap, you've got your nutritional habits there, so go through, have a little think about there, and then that's broken down your macronutrients, your proteins, your fats, and your carbs. We talked about shopping essentials, we talked about portion sizes, and the 3 different somatotypes, and again, how many macronutrients for each, and then daily meal plans, looking at what that would look like in terms of grams of carbs, fats, and calories. So hopefully that's helped, guys, as a guide on the actual plan and how everything works from a nutritional side of things. Again, if you have any questions or you're not sure about anything, then please let me know. Don't get too caught up in every detail of it. Just create some good habits to begin with, prioritize it, get those 3 meals in, and then as you get leaner, you can be more specific. Alright, thanks a lot, guys.